Hi everyone, I am Claudia Soriano, and I'm going to help you solve one of the biggest mysteries of our lives. Module 4, Handling Criticism at the Workplace. Criticism at work is a hard thing to deal with. This module should help you ease the unsettling feeling of dealing with critics. We have provided you with guidelines and tips on how to use criticism constructively, how to respond with critics you don't agree with, and how to turn the critic into your personal success guide. Use criticisms to get ahead. Many people find criticism hard to deal with, and getting the criticism from your boss makes it just that much harder. The criticism at work is not to attack us personally, but only to make us realize if we're going anywhere wrong. Instead of taking things to heart, take criticism as a feedback to self-improvise and grow at your workplace. Focus on the bread and butter of the comments. When we receive any negative feedback on our work, we get affixed to the comments and lose sight of the actual context that we are given. Furthermore, we tend to fall to hear the advice that is being given to us. Instead, we should focus on the message, look for ways in which we can improve the work, recognize the intentions of the critic. Remember that these people are there to help you become better at the work. Don't get offended by it and see it as an attack on your abilities. Seek out the finer details and improve yourself based on the comments. Start the conversation on how you want to move forward. Asking for clarification from the person is a great way to relay their criticism and seek out problem areas. Give the feedback a try. Not everything needs to be taken into accord. However, you should seek alternative options given to you on how to approach the problem. A good critic would make the work easier than harder. Work smarter, not harder. If you aren't satisfied with the comments, make sure to ask more questions to help those problem areas in which you were given those comments in. Ask for further feedback on the work you got the initial feedback on. Lastly, say thank you for the criticism. Remember, this person took their time to look at your work to help you improve. A good hearty thanks goes a long way. Respond to criticism you disagree with. Sometimes, we are faced with criticism that doesn't align with our thinking and we deem it to not to be helpful. Instead, here are some tips on how to work with criticism in a productive manner. First, take the criticism anyway, even if you don't agree with it. If the feedback is short and easy to implement into your work, why not test and see if it's worth it? You might be taken aback on it if it works or not. If it goes well, you can incorporate that idea into other areas of your work. Additionally, you make it clear that you value the person's opinion without shutting down their idea. Another tip would be to ask questions to clear all confusions. Instead of making a snap decision on their comments, sit back and understand their suggestion entirely. Ask why they want this change to be made. How does it affect the work? Is there evidence pointed to make things better? If yes, ask questions that help you understand where the person is coming from, instead of shutting down their ideas and disagreeing with them. Lastly, if you see the feedback being counterproductive and not useful, make it obvious that you aren't on board with the idea but make sure to do it in a polite and professional manner. Key to rejecting the comments is to provide a real explanation of why you don't feel the comments is helpful. An example would be to provide a paragraph where you found some of their ideas impractical. Support your reasoning to why you don't think the proposed solution will work. And finally, end your rejection by asking the person if he or she has any other question and ideas to share. Doing so will keep you on the high road attitude. Dealing with critics. It's hard to take criticism since we are bogged down with the hurt that comes with it. Instead, we can channel that sentiment into success for our own goals and work to deal with the critics at office. Seek out critics who are good and those who add value to our work, not more work that yields no benefit. There are 4 types of different critics when it comes to getting your work evaluated by someone else. These types are the following: straight haters, the frenemies, the critics, and the lovers. The straight haters. These types of people are irrational and don't know how to critique people well. We're talking about people who work in another department and put your work down, but you haven't ever worked with them. The best way to deal with them is you don't. Just ignore them. At the end of the day, they will never give your work any value. The frenemies. These people are co-workers that you work well with, but still are irrational and are there to undermine you. This is the co-worker who wants to compete with you for some reason, or a supervisor whom you have never gotten along with. To deal with such a person, you should take criticism seriously, but not personally. Ask yourself if the comment will help improve your work, or is it meant to hurt me? If it's the first one, you should think on how you can fix it, so they can criticize you for it again. If it's the latter, you can just ignore them and move on. Remember, ignorance is bliss in various situations indeed. The critics. These are the people you should seek out. They are knowledgeable about your field and are rational thinkers. These are the people who know your field but not you personally. Even if they don't know you, they are most likely going to score your work to see where improvement can be made. To deal with them, you can pay close attention to see if their comments are helpful. Give them the benefit of the doubt. They shall give you unbiased opinions. This is a true critic. Take notes, listen to their comments, and see how you can improve the work. Then, follow up if they are okay with the changes incorporated by you and how you can improve. The lovers. These are the people who are rational and whom you see yourself working well with. These people are your biggest fans, your mentors, or your boss. This is your favorite group to get feedback from since they want the best for your success and you know they are always on your side. To deal with them, you know they are invested in your best interest, and some may find it hard to give you feedback since they like you and don't want to hurt your feelings. They may sugarcoat comments. You should do everything to solicit their valuable feedback. This means making sure and explicitly telling them you want all their thoughts, the good as well as the bad. Now that you have completed this module, you should be proud of this accomplishment. You now have the tools to seek out how to use the criticism that you have been given at work to work to your advantage and succeed. Furthermore, you should have the skills on dealing with someone whose ideas aren't in line with your own. Dealing with criticism in a constructive way while also keeping your whole individuality stance.